What's good, everyone? It's your boy Natsu with another video for the channel. Welcome back to DMV Sports Zone. And I got a guest on here who you guys probably remember for the last couple appearances. And he is an amazing guest, one of the best, if not the best, Washington football team YouTubers. And his name is Corey Sanchez, right? From on
Okay.
the Warpath. And he's here to basically talk about the Washington football team alongside your boy Nazi. And we're going to have a good time once again. But for all those people, the couple of people who might be joining who haven't seen our previous get-togethers on this channel, can you introduce yourself to the channel?
Well, I don't know about the best. I'm one of them out here in the world, but yes, I am Corey Sanchez from On the Warpath. You can catch me at Sanchez 405 and subscribe to me on the Warpath. Talk Washington football all the time. Love to inform. Love to make folks laugh as well. And love collaborating with the media and some of our fellow pods. And one of my favorite pods, or we can call it YouTube a pod, is being here right here with you, brother, because honestly, Nati, you were really my first interview collab last summer. So it's like it's coming full circle. Yeah, man. And you've been knocking it out the park with some of the folks that you've had on here. So it's an honor to be on here with you and that you reach out to me. Hey, and I like the picture. You got my good side. I wasn't eating at the time, so.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you coming on. It is kind of wild that it's been a year. It's been crazy. But no, we have a packed show for you guys tonight. And I first want to get into OTAs, of course, that have been going on for the last couple of weeks. And I want to first get your thoughts on everything and anything that happened during OTAs. What have you liked seeing out of the period for this Washington football team? And I know this is something that has been percolating all over social media. Chase Young's absence from OTAs. Do you make anything of that?
No.
But, okay, there you go.
No, absolutely not. It's voluntary for a reason. Now, I can see what some people may say because he's a captain, and with the captain's patch, that doesn't come as voluntary. But I mean, as long as he's ready to go, I don't care. Now, September, I reserve my right to be like, well, if he had showed up to OTAs, but it's just glorified walkthroughs. That's all it is. So it's orientation day, pretty much like when you go to college, right? Go for the first week. Everybody's acting nice. Everybody's acting chummy. And then you find out, that professor's actually a jackhole. So, that's
very
pretty
relatable.
Much, right? But and to your second point, I think we have another strong rookie class coming here, Nati. Jamin Davis, De'Ami Brown, just two guys there. Dax Milne could make this roster too. You've heard a couple of good things about him. My favorite pick, he's grown on me. People call me crazy. I like what John Bates could become. I've said this before. I think his ceiling is George Kittle. If you look at the draft profiles, now y'all might think I'm smoking that wacky tobacco. That's cool. The quarterback situation is still I tell people this all the time. I don't like it. I don't love it. I'm just meh with it. Heineke got elbowed, got bodied, and he's out for the rest of it, so he doesn't get hurt. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's 38, gonna be 39 in December. Kyle Allen, he loves to get sacked all the time. So, it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to seeing more. But I like what we're going with this rookie class. Jamin Davis, it seems like he's getting it. And, hey, if we can't trust Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio to pick a linebacker, we've got some serious issues.
No, I definitely agree. This quarterback room is probably a C minus type of room. I mean, if we're on the whole college sort of theme here, probably a C minus type of room. But I'm definitely with you. Jamin Davis, I'm super excited, man. Behind that defensive line. And then a lot of people, especially in the media, just mentioned, oh, he's going to be playing behind that defensive line. He's also going to be playing in front of that pretty solid secondary, which I don't think is getting enough credit, right? You got Cameron Curl back there, Landon Collins, who should be back. And a lot of people forget, but Landon Collins has had his best seasons when he's had a very good defense around him, right, with New York. So hopefully, maybe he can improve on what we saw last when he played here in DC. And you also have William Jackson III, who I don't know if you saw, he was ranked 7th or 8th press corner, or outside corner, actually, not even press, outside corner in the NFL. I believe it was by PFF, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, we have a very solid second. And then you can't forget about Kendall Fuller as well, who sort of the forgotten man, I guess, when it comes to the Washington football team. And I'm with you as well with the wide receivers. Really excited to see Dyami Brown. I mean, I made him the thumbnail for a reason. I think we'll get into our stat predictions a little bit later, but I see at least for him, a pretty big season, pretty big role. And Terry McLaurin training with Doug Baldwin. I mean, the sky's the limit for him as well.
Ooh, man, you should see on Louis T's Instagram, he put that post of that release that he had that made Josh Norman look stupid back in 2017. And if Terry can even learn half of what Doug Baldwin knows, good God Almighty, it's a wrap for a lot of these corners.
Yeah, I mean, and then as a franchise, Terry's everything you want out of a receiver, right? He has the speed, he has the leadership, the route running. Maybe if he was I always say this, if he was a couple inches taller, he would have probably been like a first round pick easy. But even then, he plays big. Yeah, he plays big. Very good at the contested catches. So I think, again, the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the only knock on Terry is I think what he'll be, if he's not 25, he'll be 25 going into his third year. So that might be, or maybe 26, I think. So that's one of the keys, is probably his next contract might be his last contract. So he may not get an opportunity at a second one. So he's gonna demand the bank if he keeps on putting up the numbers that he's putting up. 900 his rookie year and 1100 on 2 bad legs last year. So yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, good Lord. You and I said this on the Burgundy Zone last night. I was just like, you, me, anybody we know, my grandma, she's 90. She could probably throw a touchdown to Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I think that tells you all you need to know.
There you go.
Another guy, though, that I've seen a lot of highlights out of, and he's very much popped out during this OTA period, is Derek Forrest.
Yes.
I mean, he's speaking of for days, tip drill interceptions for days for Derek Forrest. Do you see him actually having a role on this team and actually making it when the season comes around?
Yeah, I think he's got a good role for special teams. They talked about at Cincinnati that he played some special teams. He was a captain there. So the guy, he's a leader. And then 2, he's making plays right now. And granted, it's OTAs. I don't want us to discredit what he's doing, but let's keep it real. It's OTAs. And, it's good sprinkling. It's good sprinkling, but it's not just, it's like, I don't know. It's like butter, right? It's either you're going to get, I can't believe it's not butter, or it's real butter. So, at the end of the day, that's what, that's what you're getting with Derek Forrest right now. Is I think somebody that's confident. And I think the more often than not, you remember this last year, a lot of people were like, why in the world would they draft Antonio Gibson? He's a wide receiver. Well, no, I know. And I said the same thing. You can go check the video. But a lot of people were just like, why would they draft him? What was it? Wasn't he our leading rusher? Wasn't he a leading rusher last year? So the more move, and Cameron Curl too, a lot of people were kind of like, well, this guy's not going to do anything. Turned heads. So we had a lot of these picks that were just like, really? So Derek Forrest could be one of those guys that rise up, and you never know. We could have another young secondary battle. I think he may be a guy you could probably play at linebacker and some nickel packages too. So We'll see, man. I like it though. I liked our draft. Looking back at it, 2020 hindsight, I do like it.
Yeah. And it's crazy too on the Cam Curl point. The Ravens were so close to getting him in the building. I don't know if you heard that report earlier in the offseason.
No.
Yeah, they're so close to getting him in the building, and likely if they got him in the building, they would have realized what they had and would have drafted him. And to think without his production last year, what our defense would have looked like. But I want to shout out everybody in the chat. Joe Burrow showed up in the chat. Wow. My comeback will be better than Alex Smith's comeback. Well, I guess by default, yes. I mean, we didn't really unless Joe Burrow just wets the bed and doesn't rack up, doesn't go 5-1. But I think Joe Burrow should be nice this year. You have thoughts on that?
I don't think Joe Burrow almost died, so that's probably going to be good. The fact that he's going to come back next season is another way to saying like, yeah, you're on the pathway to success there. Now, look, I like Joe Burrow. I've been to Athens before in Ohio, where he's from. It's a nice small area, and I'm looking forward to seeing this kid rock and roll this year because that injury set him back, and a lot of us saw what Justin Herbert is worth now. Is he won Offensive Rookie of the Year, so. I wish the best for you, Joe. But hey, thanks for coming on here. And that's my cat.
And a draft do-over, I would think the Bengals would go with Herbert at this point, right? Like if we were to do over the 2020 draft. I mean, personally, I'm higher on Herbert than Burrow.
I think I would still go Joe Burrow. I still think. Okay. I mean, even with the injury, now that injury wasn't Joe Burrow's fault.
Yeah, of course.
That like he didn't do anything stupid to do. He just got sacked by a putrid offense line. And how do they fix it in Cincinnati? Let's go draft a wide receiver. It makes total sense to me when you had the number one tackle on the board at the time. Cool. But it is what it is. So
yeah. I don't know what they're doing. Cincinnati just added another receiver to a pretty good receiving core up there. But let's get to some more. Dyami Brown again was a thumbnail for a reason. How high are you? Again, we'll get into the stat lines a little bit later, so maybe avoid talking about the stats per se. But like, how high are you on Dyami Brown? And do you think he's going to take a hold of that second outside receiver position alongside Terry, and then Curtis Samuel will move into the slot very early in the season? Do you think it's going to take a couple of games for him to get his feet under him and to sort of get into things when it comes to being an NFL player for the first time? What are your thoughts on the whole Dyami Brown?
I think they're going to bring him along slow because let's be honest, the worst position. Yeah, my doggone cat. The worst position on offense was. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay. I'm sorry, brother.
It's okay.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway, I can say this to you. The biggest issue with our offense last year was wide receivers. We made the upgrade for that. I think Dyami, you're going to bring him around, maybe slow. But then I wouldn't be surprised if they just chuck one downfield to loosen up a defense early against the Chargers. So I could see him in a perfect world starting as at number 2. And then Curtis Samuel, he can do stuff in the slot. He can do stuff out of the backfield. So there's so many things you can do with him. The guy is a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I agree. For outrunning, I mean, Ron Rivera said early on in the offseason, almost right after the draft, I believe, that Terry McLaurin or Dyami Brown reminds him a lot of Terry McLaurin. So if we were to have 2 Terry McLaurins in this offense and then combine that with Curtis Samuel, that'd be great. I just see Dyami Brown, sort of like you're saying, the team taking it slow with him, and then maybe by the time week 5, 6, 7 comes around, they start playing him more on the outside. He ultimately takes that starting spot, and Curtis Samuel moves into the inside. I would think that would be the ideal situation for this team. But then again, we shall see, because, again, he's a rookie receiver going into the NFL, the craziness that is the NFL. So we shall see. We shall see. But moving on from Dyami Brown, I do want to ask you a little bit about your thoughts on the news. I know you made a video about this, and make sure you guys go check that out on his channel. But I guess just like brief thoughts once again on Washington moving back to Richmond for training camp for a very short period this year, from July 27th to 31st, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I think it's great. It shows you that even during this pandemic, we hopefully we're on the backside of this. It's still COVID's still out there. Don't get me wrong, but it is good that Richmond decided to open it up. I read the press release, and I thought LeVar Stoney's comment about a new coach and this and that. I'm like, not really a new coach. They had it, and they said I thought that was kind of a cheap shot, but it is what it is, and people are going to do that, and that might be something as far as the name goes there. But I think it's good. It'll be great for the fans to get out there and interact with the players. I'm interested to see how it's going to set up. Are you going to be social distanced? Do you have to wear a mask? What are going to be the requirements? I've never been to training camp in Richmond, so I look forward to possibly going out there this year. Been to Ashburn in training camp, but I'm looking forward to it, man. In a week where, I think a lot of this has to do with the new CBA, 2 weeks for training camp, and they'll do the first half in Richmond, then they'll go up to Ashburn for the rest of it. So,
yeah, I think it's also interesting. A couple of things there. One, with their COVID point, with things starting to get a lot better, it was just so crazy to me just to see Ron Rivera in Ashburn with no mask talking to his players after seeing a full year, whether it be during games, during practices, of him wearing a mask, of all his assistants wearing a mask. So I definitely agree with you. Things are definitely getting better. And maybe by the time training camp rolls around, there won't be any sort of mask requirement or anything. But I will say this. I love it, going back to Richmond. I went once, actually, the last time that the team was officially the Redskins. So that was an interesting time. Josh Norman, got an autograph from him, and it was just a really cool experience. I do like that in Richmond they have like a whole hill, so then you're not really standing behind people. You're standing like above people, so you don't really have to like worry about like seeing things on the field and stuff. So it's a really cool experience. It does get really hot, so that of course is a problem. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Maybe might go down again this year. We'll see. But
I'm not going to tell people where I'm going to stay at. Because I'm looking at it, so I don't want nobody to take the reservation to the hotel. But I think you do. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger and go on out there next month, man, and we just be lit and meet some cool folks. But I'm looking forward to seeing this in Richmond and just getting back to basics. And a little bit more access, which the team has been doing a great job of giving us access. That Ron mic'd up, oh my gosh, talk about that's like, dude is like one of the most unintentionally funny dudes there is. Coach is, man. I swear, I love it.
Yeah. Also interesting that the city of Richmond's not going to be paying for the team to stay in Richmond for training camp this year. The $500,000, I believe, that they were getting annually. The team still decided to go, so I guess that does point to good signs, with them caring about fans and stuff and really broadening their reach. But
that's going. Yeah, and I think they're doing a lot of activities in the community as well. So maybe because you said the team had to pay to use that facility, right? I guess they're going to do. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, no, the city annually pays the organization to have training camp in Richmond, $500,000. Now this year, I think, is the first time when the city is not going to pay them. So I don't know how it's the contract is arranged right now, but all I know is that the city is not paying for them to stay in Richmond this year.
That is wow. That oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, great day. Oh well, that's good. I guess that's where the salary cap. They said we had to pay Alex Smith.
Yeah.
So we had to pay Alex Smith these injury monies. We need $500,000.
I mean,
oh man.
Yeah. But I do, once again, I want to shout out the people in the chat. Big Boy Diehard Fan Walker from earlier. Bob Esther.
What's up, Bob?
Awesomeness Sports. Hawk. Once again, thank you for the support. Shouting both of us out. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, off of training camp, off of OTAs, I want to talk about a specific position that has been getting a lot of buzz this past week because of Antonio Gibson's comments regarding his toe injury and how it's his turf toe injury and how it's still been lingering since, I believe, suffering that injury in early December, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the running back position right now? Do you think the team should add a player there? Do you think Antonio Gibson is the legit bell cow when he can take all the carries for the entire 18-game season now? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't.
17-game season.
Yeah, one thing I'm not worried about is Antonio Gibson's turf toe right now. I'm not worried about that because it's the beginning of June. Now we getting in the middle of July. I'm gonna have a little bit. I have a little bit of a problem there. Yeah. I think that you look at some of the running backs that we had last year. We did good with McKissick, Peyton Barber. Y'all's boys still on the roster. We bring in Jared Patterson, who looks like Maurice Jones-Drew meets like Ray Rice and every mini pack-sized running back there is. And
Darren Sproles a little bit.
Yeah, Darren Sproles. Yeah, I always think Darren Sproles a little bit. Michael Turner. That's who it is. Michael Turner. That's exactly who it is. When you said Darren Sproles, I said, "Oh, another Charger running back." But and then he was in Atlanta. But I'm not worried yet, and I don't think. I like what we've got so far in the running back room. And I think either way, Randy Jordan's going to have these guys prepared because it always seems like every year we might not have the best running backs, but the running backs produce. Like aging Adrian Peterson produced, Chris Thompson produced for a while. We had times when Alfred Morris was on the backslide because Jay didn't run the ball as much. And Samaje Perine had some good games in 2017. We don't know where the rest of those went. So
various guys in spurts.
I don't know who that is, but
it's gotten to that.
Who are you talking about, Nati? We don't talk about those people.
Yeah,
man, but can't deal with Mr. Juice no more.
It's just, I hate to get back on this because I know we made our content about this guy and we moved past it, but yes. It's still, to me, it's just still crazy to see. I think you watched. Have you seen the documentary that he had before he got into the league?
No, I haven't watched it. No, I may have watched that because his dad was killed, right? Didn't his dad get killed?
I think that's But just seeing that video, from that point on, I was always a huge fan of various guys, just even off the field. But we heard going into the draft that he was dealing with a lot of stuff off the field. Wasn't necessarily a great person behind closed doors, and for us to still draft him, it just seems like a whole Bruce Allen type of move. And then to see how things obviously panned out towards the end of his time here in DC. I'm just glad that we have Ron Rivera here and he cut bait very soon after he heard the news. That's my whole take on that whole situation.
Yeah. Because we still got to worry about Strip Club Simba up there in Pittsburgh and being covered for the next few. But, Ron, go ahead.
No. Speaking of, have you heard all these Steelers fans trying to hype up Dwayne Haskins on Twitter? And there was even one YouTube video that I saw where they were like, did we get a steal? And
yeah, I saw. Nati, don't do this. This is Friday. It's supposed to be a feel-good Friday. We don't need to have fissure Friday. Like, we don't need to have a mental fissure here. So don't get into that. But yeah, they're ignorant. They're ignorant if they think they gotta steal. Somebody should steal them in the mouth, like we say up in Nova, right? Just steal them, bam, right across the mouth. No, I mean, it just looks like those guys. I think if situations were different, like for Darius Geis, if you actually had somebody, this is why I'm not as worried about Sneak Charles, because I think they have good folks there surrounding them to facilitate a culture that is conducive to growing and developing young men.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. So I don't really, Darius, he got to get right. Like, see, if somebody knew this and could tackle this from multiple angles, not just like Blacken, who's their player personnel development guy or whatever, if not just him, and then what Doug Williams said about Reuben Foster, right? So, all this stuff, like if you got guys like that are in there and they're tackling from different ways, then I think you have a better chance for success, even with a troubled young man like Darius Geis. But that's all my political answer for the rest of the stream for you, brother. I can't BS like that anymore.
It's all good. It's all good. No, we appreciate the political answers, and we also appreciate the politically incorrect answers that come from you, Corey. Because
politically incorrect. Me, I've never been called that before.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of interesting people, Johnny, hello from Serbia. Appreciate you for joining, Johnny.
Hey.
Talking about some moments from the past with Darius Geis and Dwayne Haskins. I think a lot of, by the way, in terms of where a lot of this buzz around Dwayne Haskins is coming from, especially this week, is Ben Roethlisberger. I think saying that, what did he say? He said that he had the most talented, what was it, mechanics or arm? I forgot, but he was raving about,
something about throwing it through a car wash and not getting it wet. And I've seen jokes. I've seen jokes to say, well, if you throw it over the car wash, you're definitely not going to get it wet. So
that is true. That is true.
Oh, man.
Going to see a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, oh, man. Preseason, though. Preseason will be the teller for players like that. So, I wish Dwayne all the best and all the glitter that his life can have. And I bet he has no better person to take him to gentlemen's clubs than Big Ben. So,
see, I thought you were going to go a whole different direction before you said gentlemen's club.
Oh, look, see, I'm a guest. I'm a behave. So I will church it up for you.
All right. Well, this is obviously I didn't mention this in the description or anything, but this is something that I was most looking forward to when doing this stream, and that is predicting the stat lines for the entire most of the offense, most of the guys that you guys care about on the offense. We're going to be predicting the stat lines for, and I want to first ask you about Ryan Fitzpatrick. What do you think his stat line will look like by the end of the 2021 regular season?
Oh my God. Okay. Let's see. I think he'll throw for if everything goes right, I think he'll throw for 4,100. And let's give him 25 touchdown passes.
Okay.
13 interceptions.
Okay. I think I'm like pretty close. If not, let me check. No, I'm like pretty close. I said 26 passing touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
Hey, look at there. So
pretty much the same there. I did say though that his best season with the Jets, I believe, when he actually took them to the playoffs, he actually only had 39.
He didn't take them to the playoffs.
He didn't take them to the playoffs, but they were, I believe, 10-6. So they were a playoff caliber winning record type of team. 10-6. He had 3,900 yards that season. So I dropped him down to about 3,700 passing yards for this upcoming season. So I think he will be above average, but just won't reach the 4,000-yard marker. But I think we're pretty spot on when it comes to the rest of the stats for the quarterback. Do you think there's any chance that we could see, maybe because of injury or just because Fitztragic shows up too much, maybe see some more Taylor Heineke or Kyle Allen?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. We will see these dudes at some point, whether it's because old man Fitzpatrick's forgot to put on the Depends or if, he gets hurt. So either which way, I think we will see. I think we'll at least see number 4 this year. Kyle Allen, I'm not too sure about, but like I said, I don't like this quarterback room. I really don't. It just makes me go, eh. So there you go. I don't. I've said this before. Mm-hmm. Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie, and there's 2 shocking moments in there that if I watch it 16 times, I know what's going to happen. The shock value is gone. It's like, oh, here we go. It's the Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah.
You find out Bruce Willis is dead, and the little boy Haley Joel Osment had seen him the whole time. The shock factor's gone after the second time. How many? If you see it 16 times, Nati, how many times is it going to be like, oh my gosh? And we're going to have people like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Ryan Fitzpatrick did this. Oh gosh, why would he make that throw? We'll turn on 9-8 and Kevin Sheehan will be on Monday. He's like, I can't believe Ryan Kevin. He's played 16 years. I was in high school when he first came into the NFL. Stop that. Either way, I digress. That's not the question he asked, but yes, I would. I would put money on it to see either Heineke or Allen, maybe even Steven Montez. Maybe. I don't know. No.
Okay.
Jordan Ta'amu.
Just throw any quarterback name out there at this point. But
Alex Smith's coming back.
Oh my, Alex Smith! You saw that he sold his mansion in Nova, Northern Virginia. I mean, he's pretty much trying to leave this area. I think, yeah.
Boy, bye. That's all I can say.
After this offseason, we both made content on this. Like, I think it's just time for I don't know, all this Alex Smith DC talk to just end. I mean, move into the future.
Thank you. We got the T-shirt. Actually, I got the T-shirt right here. Thank you, Alex, for this. I appreciate this. I can go rub this in Giants fans, even though they swept us. I can sweep up. I can wipe their tears up with this. Because guess what? If they had won a game, they would have been wearing this. But guess what? They didn't win the game. In Philadelphia, shut up. We don't have to thank you. But thank you for this. We appreciate it.
Yep. And I think that's well said. I will say, though, just to push this question a little bit further with Fitzpatrick, Heineke, and Allen, do you think we could have a sort of Tua-like situation where Heineke and Fitzpatrick, like, I don't know. I don't know what you want to call what happened last year in Miami, but whenever Fitzpatrick shows up, Fitzmagic, right? He stays in the game, plays the game. Mm-hmm. When Fitztragic shows up, whether it be in the second quarter or at the end of the game, you bring in Heineke to sort of be like your relief sort of starter. Do you think that might shape up here in DC off of the success that the Dolphins had last year with it?
I can't peg Brian Flores for anything like what his mind is thinking. I don't think Ron would do it to that degree. I mean, think about it now, Nati. He gave Haskins a long leash against Carolina. And he likes Fitzpatrick. He didn't like Haskins. I don't think we'll see as much interchanging of the guard within games, but maybe in between weeks or something, we'd see that more. But I don't think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see that sporadic change like we saw with Miami, because that was multiple times that happened. I think it's like 3 or 4 times that happened. I can think of the Denver game and especially the Raiders game too, that they just came and flopped each other out. So
no look pass at the end. While he's getting that face mask on him. But no, I mean, it should be interesting. I agree though. Ron Rivera doesn't seem like that type of coach. I think, yeah, I think he was definitely reluctant to put out Dwayne as long as he did, but I think what you said, him doing it kind of shows you that like he definitely gives his quarterbacks long leashes. I will say though, moving off from Ryan Fitzpatrick, I want to get to a guy that currently is now, after Ryan Kerrigan went to the Eagles, the only player that I have a jersey for, and that is Terry McLaurin. And I want to ask you, what do you think his stat line is going to look like this year? Do you see him solidifying his position as a top 10 receiver like I do this year? And again, like especially with what we said earlier in the stream, with him training with guys like Doug Baldwin, and we've seen a series of interviews where he's talked about how he's put in a lot of work this offseason to really be that type of, bona fide top 10 receiver this year. Do you think, I guess I'm asking you two questions here, his stat line and also whether he could be that top 10 receiver this year?
Top 10 receiver, I think he can. I think he has a possibility of doing that. I as far as the stat line goes, let's give him 76 catches for 1,350, and I'll say 8 touchdowns. I think that kind of goes with his trend, because I think each year he's went up about 200 yards, about 150, 200 yards each season so far. So that's on that trend right there. And then I said, 8 touchdowns, because I think you still got Logan Thomas. You got Antonio Gibson, and then you got spread it between Samuel and Diame, just thinking of it off the top. So
it's kind of crazy because I'm pretty much right there with you when it comes to Terry McLaurin as well.
We did not do this beforehand, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know that we did not talk about it. Nazi told me like 10 minutes before we went on, said, hey, just like, I'm like, okay, just thinking. So what'd you have, man?
So so first off with the catches, I think because of the fact that, especially last year, much more than in his rookie year when he was viewed as more of a deep threat. Last year was more so the short to intermediate route guy. And I think he will continue being that this year, especially when you have a guy like Diami Brown who's going to take the top off defenses. Curtis Samuel as well, who's been brought in as, he's not the most refined route runner, but definitely a speedy guy and will, get past defenses every now and then. So I think Terry's going to have about 90 catches. So about 14 more catches than you predicted, just because he's going to be that type of receiver for us this year. But I have him catching 1,350 receiving yards. So pretty much right there with you with the receiving yards. And one less touchdown, 7 receiving touchdowns, just because, like you said, Logan Thomas is going to be catching some touchdowns. Curtis Samuel will as well, because for the first time, Terry actually has a bona fide receiver too, right alongside him. And then Diami Brown as well. So I just think his touchdowns would be a little bit lower. But, I mean, again, we're pretty much right there
right.
with the stat line. But, yeah, so that's Terry McLaurin. And also on the top 10 receiver point, I think he will be. It's kind of crazy that I believe it was Pete Prisco from CBS Sports who
don't even. Pete does this. He does this for this reason. That's why he does it in June, because there's nothing to talk about, and people just send him dirty messages. He never gives us respect. Never gives us respect. So it didn't surprise me. I was shocked to see that we had 2 guys on there.
Yeah, but not a top 100 player in his eyes, not a top 10 or top 20 receiver, I believe, in his eyes. So I'm just excited to see Terry just once again prove the world wrong and prove guys like him wrong. But moving on from Terry, I want to get into Curtis Samuel, the signee that we brought over this offseason. What do you believe his stat line will look like by the end of the 2021 season?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's kind of tricky here, right?
Yeah, no.
Rushing yards.
Let's go with. I'm gonna go with 875 on the receiving side, and I'm gonna go with 200 with rushing, and then I'll go combined touchdowns because it really doesn't matter. I'll go let's go 7 combined touchdowns.
Man, I said 800. I said. I mean, it's pretty close, pretty close. A little bit less close than the other ones. But I said 800 receiving yards, 150 rushing yards, so a little bit lower than what he had last year. I mean, kind of again, it's a similar offense to what he played in, you know, just a year ago in 2019. But it's still technically a new offense than what he had last year, where he had that breakout season. So 800 receiving yards, 150 rushing yards. And then I said 6 total touchdowns, 5 receiving and a rushing. So
please get out of my head, man. I just like, you can't make this.
I mean, if we get close on this De'Ami Brown stat line, then I think something is up. Something is up for sure. Okay. But where do you see the guy that is on the thumbnail for a reason? Where do you see his stat line? What do you see his stat line being by the time the 2021 season wraps up?
Yes, here. I'm going to go. Hey, what's up?
I didn't want to cut you off, Corey.
Oh no, I saw Ed down there. We gotta bow. We gotta bow to Ed, man. That's he's doing God's work. He's trying to get Scott Brooks a house up in Maryland, I heard. So crap. Nati, this has got me. You got me good on this one. Let's go. I'm going to go 700. And I'm going to go 6 touchdowns.
Okay, I think we should end this stream. I
legit. I'm done with you.
I put down. I literally put down 650 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns.
Jeez.
That's what I put down on my notes. This is kind of crazy.
This is crazy, and I'm just sitting here like thinking them off the top of my head. Oh my God! Are you?
That's crazy.
Oh, jeez. Great minds.
I thought you were gonna go. I thought we were gonna diverge a little bit here because of the fact that I was sort of like hyping him up at the beginning of the stream, and then to say 650 receiving yards isn't like spectacular, but I think he's gonna be very efficient. I said only like 39 catches, so I mean, I think he's gonna rack up the yards.
That puts him like in that high teen range, and he was averaging like 20 yards a catch at UNC. So I mean, it's right. That's actually where my mindset was too. I'm like, that's about right there. And he's probably gonna get a couple of catches because they're gonna test him to blow the top off of defenses. So Aldrick Robinson numbers in 2012. That's exactly what it'd be.
I like how you mentioned the specific year and didn't just say like Aldrick Robinson because definitely fell off after that year.
Oh, but I know. Oh, I know. Look, I'll pump the brakes on that. But yeah,
for sure. And once again, shout out to Ed. I see everybody in the chat laughing at the Corey's comment earlier about buying. Helping Scott Brooks buy a home in Maryland.
He is, man. Scott's gonna get that 2-year deal, and we're gonna sit in purgatory. We're going to mediocrity of purgatory and everything. So we're going to be like, what is this team? We don't know. We don't know what this team is. So,
and you know what? Let's break off a little bit from the stat line. I was going to ask you a little bit later towards the end of the stream. I mean, we're almost at that point, but the Wizards, the Washington Wizards.
Oh boy! Come on.
I was thinking of the Stephen A. Smith video that you share on Twitter all the time. when you're talking about the Wizards. But what do you make about how their season ended this week? Do you think Scott Brooks, I mean, you sort of gave away your answer kind of. Do you think Scott Brooks will be retained? And if so, what do you think the Wizards will actually do?
Here you go. One more time. Do it for the Vine.
Washington Wizards.
Thank you, Stephen A. Yes, the damn Washington Wizards. Dude, it was just they were all gassed to get to that point, and then the gas ran out. You went on Westbrook, but I told you, did I not tell you I told you this last year, and you looked at me like I was crazy. I said, at best, this team would be the 6th seed out of the doggone East, and you looked at me like I was crazy. You did. I mean, y'all. I told you this. We can go run the tape back.
Yeah.
And I said, my God, I'm going to kill this cat. But yeah, he's knocked out. I can't even see you right now. So there we go. Oh my gosh, I'm going to kill this cat. But anyway, he I mean, you know, it is what it is. But we have I don't know what the Wizards are, man. People are thinking, like, I was listening to Travis Thomas show today, and people are like, should you blow it up or should you reload? Like, I'm sorry, what? Reload?
Can you even? Okay, you're going that route. I was gonna ask, can you even blow it up when you got a contract like Russell Westbrook's on the books? Can you even like do that? I mean, that's a whole different question.
You can trade. Maybe you can trade him. Maybe somebody will want him
at this
juncture, bro. I'm like, somebody might want him.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, get him back with one of these contenders. Get some
Lakers.
There you go, Lakers. Maybe he want to go play with LeBron. I don't know. Could they get along? Yeah. Could yeah, exactly. He went to UCLA, so you know, I thought it was kind of funny because they asked Ron Rivera about the Wizards, right? And in his answer, somebody was notably missing from his comments. Who was that? Scott Brooks. Ron gets it. Ron gets it. So if Ron Rivera gets it, you don't think who else? Like Tommy Shepard said he needs 2 weeks to figure this out. Dude, bro, come on. Now I can see if you want to make one more run. I don't know when Bill's contract is up or whatever you want to do with Bill.
2-year extension.
Yeah, he had 2-year extension. So pretty much whatever you're gonna do with Bill, you know, I mean, if you want to go and run on for that long, but my point is, look at what the Capitals did in the NHL, Ted. Do the same thing with the Wizards. There was one guy who's on there. He said, I don't want to reload. But maybe they should trade Bill and maybe we get some young picks, some young draft picks and everything like that. Dude, just blow the damn thing up. Blow the damn thing up and let's see what we can do from there.
I mean, I was in that boat as well early in the season, right before they made that run. At this point, I'm in the boat of just firing Scott Brooks, getting a good coach there, and hopefully actually doing well in the draft, which the Wizards haven't done over the last couple of years. Another thing that has annoyed me, and I mean, I'm sort of at fault for this, especially like early in the season, even before the season. Rui Hachimura needs to step up, man. He needs to be more consistent. He actually downgraded this year when it comes to his regular season stats. He went, I believe, down a tick in points per game, if not stayed at the same points. And then like all the other numbers went down, efficiency went down. So I need Rui Hachimura to step up and be that bona fide 3-4 that the Wizards drafted or hope to draft. But outside of him, I mean, Russell Westbrook, this is the type of season you expect to have out of Russell Westbrook. He's going to be great in the regular season, or at least by the time the end of the regular season comes around, he's going to be very good. And then the playoffs, I hate to say it, but he's going to be Westbrook. I mean, like, it happens every single year, at least since his MVP season. He's gotten older, right? And teams know how to defend him in the playoffs. I mean,
but Westbrook, and to Westbrook's defense too, Nati, that guy don't take off like a lot of these other players do.
That's facts.
He does not take off like the rest of these players do. So his kind of efficiency, and then he's playing like what Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom was what I call Davis Bertans Dr. Doom because he's from Latvia and Latvia, same daggone thing. So we got Victor von Doom Bertans, who goes who doesn't score. I mean, I have seen. I think the war on drugs was a better spend of $80 million than spending for Davis Bertans.
Oh no!
Yes. Just say no. Nancy Reagan, man. Y'all go look it up if you don't know. If you're too young, like go look it up. Nancy Reagan did a better job. This is an egg. This is your brain. This is your brain on crack. This is your brain on Bertans. Nothing. Dude, I mean, like Bertans is garbage. Alex Lynn is pretty much the Band-Aid at the bottom of a trash can. You know, and then Ish Smith is okay at points. I don't know what Raul Neto was doing. I mean, my God, guys, is Thomas Bryant really, if he does come back, is he going to be
the Ben?
Right, exactly.
Like, I never forgot that. So it's not going
to what are we doing? That's what I'm saying. What is this team? And then you've got, I'm telling you, the best thing that we could do is we need to get an international ban on bringing international players to Washington in the draft. I'm telling you this right now. Denny, that hopefully he can become that offensive weapon they want, but right now, no, not man. And then, like you said with Rui, I remember when we drafted Rui, I was like, who the hell is this? Who is this guy? They just got him because he's from Japan. That's all it is. That's
social
all
media
it is.
Went up.
Yeah, social media went up. That's all they did. I hate saying that, man, because I feel like it feels like I'm not hip to the situation. But I mean,
to be fair, he was a star at Gonzaga, and I had like the sort of like the opposite reaction. Like I was super hyped that we got him because of what he did at Gonzaga. But the problem is though, like a lot of people at this point, I hate to say this as well. At this point, I feel like Wizards fans are starting, not you, of course, and not like most of the people who are making content about the Wizards, but like in terms of fans themselves are starting to overhype or at least overrate Rui Hachimura. Because either that's the case or Scott Brooks is such a bad coach that he's been using him wrong like so much. Because we saw in the playoffs, right? He had a couple good games. I believe he had a 20-point game in this series, and there was a post, I don't know if it was the Wizards or it's like a DC sports media page that posted it, where they're like, oh, the Wizards' big three did well tonight. Big three?
Come on now.
What big three? We got a backcourt and we have like some okay players, and then everything else is trash. Like, I mean, that's the Wizards right now, if we're going to be honest. So
that guy, look, the most defense that I've seen at Capital One Arena at a basketball game is when that fan got tackled. That's the most defense I've seen by anybody representing the Washington Wizards organization. And there's no lie. There's no lie right there.
Ron Rivera was impressed.
Right, Ron Rivera might hire this guy, but like they talk about what they need to play defense. Scott Brooks don't know how to do. That's what they should have done. They shouldn't have poured their popcorn on Westbrook. They should have poured it on Scott Brooks with all the hot butter, because that may have lit a fire up in him to actually start coaching. I mean, this like it's, bro. Scott Brooks, he's got to get out of here. They're gonna ride. They are going to ride on in Chinatown. If this guy is there, you know, and it's not right for this area because it's a basketball area.
Yeah,
it's a professional football area and a basketball area. We just lucked into having a good hockey team and a good baseball team. I mean, we couldn't keep baseball for twice.
Yeah, man. Not good right now, but
I don't want to say, hey, keep that
over the last 10 years. Yeah,
keep hope alive with that poster in the background too, brother. But you know that's just like that is the Wizards just can't get right. And they're happy to be there. That's the thing. I'm not happy to be in the party. I want to progress in the party. Our biggest moment in the last 6 years or something, was a Game 6 victory against the Celtics at home when you thought we had won the damn series, Nati. Come on now, bro.
Yeah.
Don't get me preaching on Scott Brooks, man. Don't do it. I mean, I can go a long way with you on there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we're all in the same boat. He should be fired, and to not take this long for the Wizards to pull the plug. But Greg Lightbody, thank you for joining. What do you think about John Bates? I think Corey mentioned his thoughts on John Bates. I don't know if you want to recap a little bit here, but high on him.
Yeah, I'm high on him. I think his ceiling is George Kittle. You look at he was a track athlete, state track champion. He played championship football in high school too. So I like this kid. Granted, it was in Oregon, but they probably got some fast kids out there in Oregon somewhere. Just don't be from Portland. I think that I think John Bates is going to be a good blocking tight end, and he's going to be a surprise in the red zone.
Okay. Let's take Denny and Roy. I don't know, high-end role players. I mean, Roy, I believe so, but Denny, I mean, we need to see more out of him. Like, I don't think he really showed. I mean, obviously he had that injury, but I don't think he showed too much this year to like solidify his spot as like a high-end role player. I don't know if you have thoughts on that, since we're still on the Wizards whole thing.
Apparently they didn't do much. They didn't do much. So Denny was hurt when we needed him the most, pretty much, and down the stretch. So they still got it done. So I don't know. We'll see how he develops and everything like that. But we always bust with these foreign players. I don't know what it is. To that point, it's Jan Vesely. That's a scouting problem. That is a scouting problem. You need to fix that, whether you're getting your scouts or somebody. And Tommy Shepard, who did Tommy Shepard work for?
Cronville.
Ernie.
Yep.
He was Ernie's Bert. That's pretty much what it is, or vice versa. And ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. Nothing will change.
Gafford. I mean, again, this shows. I know we were trying to move past this, but this just shows how bad of a coach Scott Brooks was this year, and really the last couple of years. Didn't start him until the season was literally on the line. But yeah,
they said he was a genius. People called him a genius in the national media. People were saying this. We're saying this after game one. He should have started him. Yeah. Scott. I don't know. You can't credit Scott with all that. I mean, did they win on the stretch? Did they come back from improbable odds? Did they swept number one team in the West? Didn't they? They swept Utah. So you swept the Lakers. You swept a lot of teams. See, if we were out in the West, we'd probably contend for a championship this year.
Yeah, especially the Lakers.
Yeah, we were on your show when we split with the Clippers. Well, Ed's right. I think we need to hire Travis Thomas's cousin, Sam Cassell. So, but he might go to Boston. So,
yeah,
maybe we can get Kara. Maybe we can get Kara Lawson.
Maybe.
And Kara Lawson or Becky or Becky Hammond.
Becky Hammond.
Mark Jackson. Ain't nobody going for Mark Jackson. Ain't blackballed that man. So.
Oh my! That's a whole other story.
That's a whole nother can of worms. So
yeah. Yeah, just sad times for the Wizards, man. I mean, they did make the playoffs. We can't forget that they did make the playoffs. They were 17-6 end the season, like Ed said. So they aren't the worst team in NBA. They aren't the best. They're sort of middle of the pack at this point. But that, I mean, we've either been terrible or middle of the pack for so long, and it's time for a change, man. It really is. For all the good people out there who are Wizards fans, for all the people like you and Ed who make content about the Wizards, everybody makes content about I just want this whole community to rally around this Wizards team once again, and for this Wizards team to not let us down. And I'm just literally waiting for that time to happen. And I mean, I might be waiting until I get gray hairs. I really don't know at this point, but
I've already got them, brother. So this is why I don't talk about the Wizards on my channel that much, because it's just going to be a crap show all the time about. Oh my gosh, they're so disappointing, and I honestly see why in DC there are so many people who are not fans of this team.
Yeah,
because they can't get right. They cannot get right for the life of them. And when we think we're good, so
yeah. I don't even think this was mentioned on the channel. The whole Jay-Z thing. Are you? Oh no. What are your thoughts on this?
No, absolutely not. No.
Oh
no. He's buddies with Jerry Jones. So I don't really think. And I take Beyonce. A halftime show from Beyonce. But I don't know. I'm just not a. I don't know. I can't. Could you imagine? But Dan Snyder being in Rocker wearing those Timbs too at the same time. Lord have mercy, dude. That'd be a funny sight. He had the one jumper like in the Louis Vuitton logos and everything. And you see he had he have the untied Timbs and everything. Probably had some dark shades. Listening to Bonnie and Clyde, and he brushing his shoulders off every time he went. Like the time when they tried, it's like do the dab, and he's just like, that'll be Dan, man. So
yeah,
I don't know. I know Jay-Z's trying to jump into the NFL pool, but it just seems like Jay-Z jumps into things, and I'm like, where's the love? You jump into the Brooklyn Nets, which I think he was the key cog that got the Nets to Brooklyn. But
talk about it.
Yeah. And then he's like, deuces.
Okay, but don't you think because of the fact that he brought so much attention in Brooklyn and the Nets, and I believe he even helped with the whole jersey change up and everything really about instilling culture with the Brooklyn Nets. Don't you think that ultimately helped them attract players like a Kevin Durant, like a Kyrie Irving, like all these guys who wanted to join the Nets and stuff? I feel like a lot of people are selling him short for his impact on the Nets. I promise you, I wasn't talking about the Nets before Jay-Z got involved with that organization. And I know a lot of people out there who weren't. And obviously now everybody's talking about them because they are legit. They're the favorites right now. But even before that, to attract guys like those, I think we're selling him short when it comes to his impact on that team.
Yeah, that's his hometown, right? That's his hometown. So I think that's something a little bit different. So he has a vested interest in that. But then when Vladimir Putin's cousin was owning the team, and then they just he hopped off from there. I don't know if it would be the same thing in DC. That's the only thing. Now I do like Jay-Z's middle name. He's got one of the best middle names I've ever heard, and it spells it correctly too. So, but it may be on the screen right now for all I know, but I don't know, man. I just think he's an agent too. Doesn't he have his agency still?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's going to put that partial ownership in there. I don't know. It is. I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm okay.
I mean, I guess for me, I would be stoked about Jay-Z joining the ownership team. I think it would mask a lot of the horrors that comes with Dan Snyder owning the team. Obviously, none of it we can't have all those horrors, all the terrible times when it comes to ownership going away until Dan Snyder sells the team. But I think Jay-Z being here, I'm of the mindset that everything Jay-Z touches turns to gold. And I think ultimately, obviously, we already had the established culture here in DC with Ron Rivera. But I think adding in Jay-Z with the ownership group will attract a lot of new fans and will make this organization maybe even a tad bit better, which I think is all you can ask for at this point.
Yeah, and did they? How were the Nets while Jay-Z owned them too? By the way,
they weren't that good, but they did have that season before Kyrie and KD like jumped on board where they were very, very not very good, but they were playoff caliber. I think they made the playoffs that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, all right.
So
let's see here. Well, he relinquished it in 2013. His ownership,
But what I'm saying is that obviously his day-to-day I'm just saying the impact. Like literally nobody was talking about the Nets before. Well, one, they moved to Brooklyn, but also two, Jay-Z and his impact and like instilling that culture, that black and white jersey. I don't know. It was the whole aura around the Brooklyn Nets that I believe Jay-Z started.
Right. I got you.
But, I do want to get back to a couple more questions before. Okay, so time is running out, but I want to get to a couple more things and then we can wrap up. First, very quickly, and this might not be too quick, but your stat line for Antonio Gibson, and this is probably the trickiest out of all the guys that we discussed.
I'll go. Let's go 1050 on the rushing. And then let's go 550 receiving.
And total touchdowns?
Let's go with 13.
Okay.
It's combined. Yeah, that's combined.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, I'm making that face because I said 12 total touchdowns, 9 rushing, 3 receiving.
Okay.
I said just a tick below 1,000 rushing yards. I said 995 rushing yards. So pretty close. And then I said 50 catches for 400 receiving. So I think the big thing, though, to make out of our stat lines for Antonio Gibson, 1, the similarity. And then 2, us giving him a lot more receiving yards than he had last year, which I think means a lot for this offense. And I think means a lot for Antonio Gibson. Because I don't know about you, I think he has. I mean, I mentioned this. This was, what was this? This was like a couple weeks after the draft. I talked about him being an Alvin Kamara type player. And I think his potential is through the roof. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I think a Pro Bowl is in his future, like near future. Maybe not this year, but the year after.
It could be possible this year. It just depends on how that toe is feeling at the beginning of the season, and if he's good to go come week 1, and he doesn't have any setbacks from that. I think that, and we're talking about this in a perfect season, like pretty much if everything goes the right way and these guys are healthy. So, he caught at Memphis, he ran the ball, so. Why can't he not do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm literally going to spend 2 seconds on this. That's an F. That is a fail. And then Logan Thomas, Gregory Lightbody. That is a good point. I don't know why. I just forgot about him in my notes. I don't know why, but
of all people,
I know.
It's all on your channel. You forgot Logan Thomas.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But I mean, this is great for both of us because it's pretty much just like off the dome for both of us. Logan Thomas, what's your stat line for him this season?
60 catches. Let's go. I think he'll be right around the same time. I'll give him a bump this year.
Okay.
Say 700 yards. And I think he had 5 last year. I'll go 5 touchdowns again this year.
Okay. I'll say maybe a little bit less catches, maybe like 54-ish catches. 625 yards because there's going to be a lot of options on this offense. And maybe, about five touchdowns like you. But that one was, I wouldn't say intentionally close, but like, the other ones were kind of crazy. Yeah. But, that is a good point. Doesn't throw to tight ends that much.
Well, he better learn.
I think, that is true. But I think the reason why we're so high on Terry is because, I mean, no matter where Fitz goes, when he has a number one option as a receiver on his offense, whether it be, I think it was Brandon Marshall in New York, if I'm not mistaken, Devontae Parker in Miami, he likes force feeding them. So I think Terry McLaurin is definitely going to have a big season because of that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 110% there, brother. I got distracted by a comment. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Was it the last comment?
Yeah. Whatever.
All right. So off of that, two more questions. I thought this was a kind of fun question that might invoke a little bit of fun, and that is, can you give me your top 5-ish? And I say ish because if you have a tiebreaker, then obviously you can have like 6 players, but top 5-ish players in the NFC East right now.
Top 5-ish players.
And this is assuming health. Let me say that too.
Okay. So no particular order.
Let me rephrase. So I shouldn't say it's assuming like full health for everyone, but like let's say top 5 players right now. You're accounting for how the recovery process is going, right? And if week 1 were to start today, top 5 players.
I think Saquon's up there. Chase. God, who is? It's a good one. Do we really want to say? Do we want to say Dak? Do you want to say Dak? I'll say Dak. I'll say Dak. And then
put my guy up there. Don't forget him. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about though.
John Bostic's up there, right? No.
Again, this is probably a second moment where I wanted to end the stream.
Oh God. Oh man, who is let's see. I don't
5 years from now, we're gonna be looking back and thinking, like saying to ourselves, wow, we really started John Bostic at middle linebacker. Just
it was like, and then 5 years from now, I see you right at the time he knocked out Andy Dalton. I guess Zeke maybe. Zeke, I mean he's produced up there. I feel like I gotta add somebody from Philadelphia up in there, don't I? Fletcher Cox, Fletcher Cox, maybe.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just me, like really thinking off the top of my head. I see somebody say Kenny Galladay. I don't even think Galladay's there. I don't. Yeah, Terry's up there. Here, let's throw out, since this is a Washington stream, let's throw out Zeke and we'll put Terry right there.
Okay.
There you go. We'll put Terry right there. Yeah.
Okay. I like the list.
Okay.
So I mean, I have Saquon up there.
Okay.
I have, obviously assuming health, Saquon, Dak. I have, who do I have? I thought you were going to mention this guy because, I mean, he was an all-pro for a reason. Brandon Scherff up there. Yes, I do. I mean, you guys might think I'm crazy. I mean, he's an all-pro for a reason. He was our best offensive lineman. I mean, it's facts. And I looked at all the offensive lines in the division. He is the best offensive lineman on any of the 4 teams. And I think we got to give him his love here on the channel. for the his last season here in DC. So I know why you made that reaction, because you realize in that split moment that you forgot to put him on your list.
Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he goes. Daggone man can't stay healthy. And
I just said assuming health. We're talking about Saquon and Dak.
Yeah, assuming health. Assuming
Saquon. He hasn't been playing.
But at the end of the day, not assuming health. There are three things that are true in life. What? Four. Life, death, taxes, Brandon Sheriff being hurt for a month.
But Corey, we literally just talked about Dak, who's coming off a season-ending injury, and Saquon, who I don't know when's the last time you played. And we mentioned both of those guys as top 5 players in this division. I think if we're mentioning them as top 5 players, I think it's fair game for Brandon Sheriff.
Saquon got hurt at the beginning of last season. Let's be real.
How many games did he play?
He played 2, but he did play. He did play. And plus, at the end of the day, with in the words of our great former head coach, Jay Gruden, it's just a guard.
Okay. Anyways, my top 5. Saquon, Dak, Brandon Sheriff, and then I have Chase Young.
Damn, there's some good drugs up there in Chicago, man.
Oh my gosh. Saquon, Dak, Sheriff. Okay, so I had Saquon, Dak, Sheriff. I even put them in order. So Saquon, not in this order, but Saquon, Dak, and Sheriff were like my top 3. Then I put Terry at 4, and then I had a tie between Chase and James Bradbury.
Oh, okay, James Bradbury. No Philadelphia
After that season that he had, I had to.
No Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, all right. Die Eagles, die.
Well, not according to Ryan Kerrigan.
I like I said this before. I didn't know they were remaking Get Out. That's exactly what he looked like. He's like, "Hello," like, man. I tell you what, man. What did you think about that? I can ask you a question here. So what about my boy being gone? The best lineman from last year, from the Washington football team, number 76, Mr. Versatility, Mr. Consistency, the ray of health, Morgan Moses, man.
Yeah.
Show him some respect, please.
I talked about this. I don't know if it was the last. I talked about this on the stream after the move was made. It's just so funny, man. We've been going back and forth over Morgan Moses and Brandon Sheriff, and one of the few times I guess that I've been right on our takes. Brandon Sheriff being the most important offensive lineman on this team, so much so that they haven't signed him to a contract extension, which makes a lot of sense, right? But anyways, Morgan Moses, I think the move tells you all you need to know about him. Sure, he was out there no matter the injury, and you got to respect him for that. I've always respected that part of him. But at the end of the day, what that move made us realize, well, I mean, I already knew this, but maybe you realize or sort of shocked you with, is that Morgan Moses is a replaceable player.
You're just eating this up. You're just eating this up. Look at you. Look. See, y'all, look, we got arrogant Nati today, man. So Lord have mercy.
One of the rare times.
Yeah, shoot, man. As long as I bring this energy out of you. I love it. No, at the end of the day, Sheriff's an all-pro because there weren't that many great right guards in the NFL. I get that. So obviously, he isn't more important because we know awards mean everything, because Robert Griffin III is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. When he was the offensive rookie of the year back in 2012. He does
a rookie award.
Yeah, but
that was also
still a good
years ago.
But yeah, at the end of the day,
this year. No comeback, Corey.
It's the same thing. They get caught up in these awards when you don't have enough right guards. when every good guard is a left guard for the most part. When you're talking about guards, of course somebody's going to have to default to the All-Pro team. Brandon Sheriff was it.
Wow. Brandon Sheriff is a top 5 player in this division.
And I will say this to clarify everything. Do I think at the end of the day Morgan Moses is better than Brandon Sheriff? No, I do not.
Never said that.
I've never said that. I said last year, get this right, he was the best offensive lineman on the team because one thing, he cleared up his penalties. That's one thing. And then 2, y'all remember that Thanksgiving game? Who's the starting left tackle? That's right. It was Morgan freaking Moses, y'all. I'm just saying. He showed his value and his versatility there. Position flex, as Coach Ron likes to talk about. I think last year he was a cusp above, but and plus he's just a right tackle too. So
I would rather have the one guy who is elite at his position and have the guy who is at a variety of positions on the line.
Hey, sometimes the guys it just creates for good chemistry though. Sometimes, so you know what I'm saying. And then we got Sam Cosmi. We got Sam Cosmi, so and Leno. Hopefully, he can come out there and Cornelius. Yeah, Cornelius Lucas. Yeah, we got the guy that Lucas backed up.
Sorry how things were.
Hey, I like what Gunnar said though. Best ability is availability.
That's true. But sometimes elite talent overtakes availability in my eyes. Saquon, for example, he's not super available, but I'd rather have Saquon on this team than.
It's one bloody season, man. It was one bloody season.
It was a couple seasons now, Corey, of him being injured. Yes, this wasn't his only season where he's injured.
He was still dominant though in his rookie year.
Do you remember 2019? Do you remember 2019 though when he was injured for a good part of the season and then he came back towards the tail end and then just beat us up because our defense was so trash?
Yeah, I was at that game. He ran I actually I almost threw a bird at him right there because he was right in front of me. You can go back and look at that when they're working. They were working right to left. Yeah. So it was in the end zone, boys.
I think Gunnar is giving us both ammo in this debate. He said best ability is available, and then Barkley always hurt.
Always hurt. So
I do move off from this topic. This is really fun. But the last topic, I'm going to ask you this again. I don't care how many times I'm going to ask you, but I'm going to ask you this.
Sir, I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say this. And I'm going to leave it alone. So in 2019, he only missed 3 games. He started all his games in his rookie season. So
how many games did Brandon Sheriff miss last year?
Don't start there. Don't get it's running back in the guard. Don't you start
Isn't it like about the same amount of games? Maybe a little bit, one more.
Didn't you say you had another question for us?
Yeah, I did. The last question. The last question of the stream is what are your thoughts after seeing OTAs, after seeing this draft class? Because I don't think I've asked you this question since the draft, maybe. What are your thoughts on the future of this Washington football franchise? And do you think a Super Bowl is it's crazy that we're talking about this, but a Super Bowl might be in our near future, maybe 2 years from now?
It's possible, but I think, look, I look at it this way. I think we're like that. We're like the same title of that movie with the old man who loses his wife at the beginning. We're up. We're going up. So I think that it is I think we look confident, man. That's what I like about this team. I like I just
saw that at the same time.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a great phrasing. And I saw you got nicked in the face and you couldn't participate in OTAs too. So
maybe he needs to get stronger in the face. Face muscles.
It's like Marshall Brady. Oh, my face. Oh, my nose. But anyway, I think this team is up. We've got a likable coach. a guy who's also a disciplinarian. That's kind of hard to find. You've got a great defensive coordinator. Your offensive coordinator is young. Hopefully he's up and coming, and he's going to learn from his mistakes from last year. There's a lot of things that are there are a lot of things that I'm looking forward to this team. For the first time in a long time, I can I'm like saying, hey, that they're doing something right. Like, I'm always going to be proud of my team, no matter bad, good, indifferent, pimping out cheerleaders or not. I love my team. I'm not going to say proud, but I'm always going to love my team. But I think that this team is on the right direction. It's just nobody tamper with it, and we're going forward, man.
Okay. I agree, man. Yeah. Hopefully in a couple of weeks there'll be a video about this, but I think, maybe by the time the end of this 2022 season wraps up, we will be Super Bowl champions. I think it's that soon. I think we just need a quarterback. Our roster is built very solid right now. I think with another draft class, another offseason, and a quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers. Go get Aaron Rodgers.
I'm so glad that you're not one of those people who thought on Twitter, especially with all the news coming out earlier in the offseason of the tension between him and the front office there in Green Bay, that said, oh, Aaron Rodgers is 38 years old. He's getting up there in age. That timeline doesn't fit with our timeline. He's his MVP season. I mean, he's only going to go down from here. Like, he's not the right fit here in DC. Yeah. I'm so glad, Corey, that you're not one of those people. That's all
I'm just gonna tell you, before anybody started all this stuff, I was the first person on this train for Aaron Rodgers. You can go back and check the tape on it. Any moron who says, "Oh, I don't want it," there's something wrong with you. Then you don't want to win.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is, wherever he goes, he's going to be the quintessential plug-in. If you want to see a team win, he makes them a top 4 team in the NFL, wherever he is. So if you pair him up with, we got Fitz Magic right now, but if you paired him up with Terry McLaurin, with De'Ami Brown, with Adam Humphries, with some of these other guys, you give him a competent tight end, which he hasn't had in a while, or slightly average to in Logan. Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback, and you have no disagreement here with me. You have no disagreement here. I think Aaron Rodgers, if he comes available, Washington be stupid not to call them. Maybe not give up the farm, but to call them and kick the tires on it. Because if you want to win, you win up because you're going to sit on your hands. You're going to squander what you have, this defensive line, because you can't pay everybody. You will not be able to pay everybody. Maybe next year is the last year this defensive line will be all together. Come on now.
Yep. You got to take advantage. All these rookie contracts.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
I'll leave you guys with this as the last comment for this stream. With regards to Aaron Rodgers, my dad, who is always very, very pessimistic about this. When they were the Redskins, watch football team doesn't really matter because, we've been burnt so many times and he's seen it. I think he immigrated to this country the year when they won the Super Bowl. So he's always tried to see if this team could recapture that glory that he had when he came to this country. And because of all the failures over the last 2 decades plus, he's tired of this Washington football team. Obviously, last season definitely was cool, even though they were 7-9, they won the division and made the playoffs. But I've never seen his face in so many years, since the RG3 year, maybe. Mm-hmm. Or maybe that was the only other time. His face light up when it comes to talking about this Washington football team, when I threw the suggestion out there that Aaron Rodgers might be the next quarterback for us. When I threw that suggestion out there, his whole face lit up in excitement. And that just tells you all you need to know about that sort of scenario. However unlikely it may seem right now, if it does happen.
Oh, my God.
I don't think we need to say anything.
Oh,
yeah, man. I think that reaction right there.
I don't buy jerseys.
Yeah.
I'm getting my 12 jersey right then, and I'm getting it. And if Aaron Rodgers comes, what Lord have mercy, because it's gonna be. I'm saying download your sports books, your fan duels or your William Hills or whatever, and put your money on the Washington football team to either be the NFC champions or the Super Bowl champions. And like you said, in the next 2 years, that's what you need. You need that alpha dog on offense, and that's none of these three guys in the quarterback room give that vibe off. None of them do. So, we'll see going forward, but it'd be nice. It's a pipe dream right now, but you never know.
Of course. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Corey stayed on here for 90 minutes. That tells you all you need to know about Corey, the man, the myth, the legend. Go follow his page on the Warpath. I made sure to put the link in the description to make it easier for you guys. But great channel. Just hit 2,000 subscribers. Putting in the great work. One of the most consistent guys out here. One of the best content creators, like I said at the top of the show. So make sure you guys go follow him if you haven't already. Go show him the support that he deserves. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining. There's so many people. Big boy, diehard fan. Taylor Heineke, man, just shows you how much Aaron Rodgers to DC would mean for Taylor Heineke, the current number 2 quarterback, maybe potential player who's vying for a starting quarterback position, to really give up his spot and say Aaron Rodgers should be here in DC instead. That shows you all you need to know. The cat who also joined us tonight. Thank you, Cat, for joining.
Come here, boy. Come here. Say hi to the people. There he is. Say hi. There he goes. There's Tyson. Say what's up. Tyson? Say go football team, right? That's right.
And with that, we are going to end the stream. Have a great night, guys, and see you on the next one. Peace.
See you guys.